Greetings. This is Dr. Gretchen. Hi, all good elementary. I'm going to show you how to do the graphing of the charts, just in case, if you ever need to utilize this at another capacity or a different date. I have opened up a PowerPoint slide. We're going to use this for step 3. So I want to input a chart here for our focus walls. And so I'm going to go to chart. And I think since we're going to do some comparative data, we're going to use I think we would use the column charts. I think that'd be good for us. So I'm going to input that. These, as you can see, there's different variations you can use. And so the small Excel file does come up, which is great. We're going to compare February 2022, and you can always adjust any of these columns. I'll do it afterwards. To March 2022, of which we're going to do the March focus walks on Monday. So let's move this data line down here to expand that column and move this one here. And it's just based on you. This is just cosmetically what you would like. And we are not in need of this one. So actually I'm going to just delete this whole thing out here. Just highlight it and delete. Let's see. And we may not need to have the lines over so far, but that's fine. So we're looking at, in particularly for the focus walks, 3rd through 5th grade. So this is just creatively how you want to do the verbiage. So let's say 5th grade, we'll start with Crockett, Reed, Moore, and Jackson. All right. And then we might want to distinguish the grade level. We'll do 5th. And just like anything, if that's not sufficient for you to start over, do it differently. 5th. Then we're going to do 4th. So we have Kasur, Clark, Ellison, and drawing a blank here. McCray. Okay, so we're going to then identify the grade level for that one. This will give us some triangulation comparative information as well for the focus walks. Okay, and then we're going to have for 3rd grade, we're going to have, let's see, Payne, Richardson, Charlson, Washington, and Dublin. All right, and so I'm going to move this over too, just to kind of give us more room so nothing is bunched up. You want to make sure that cross comes up so we can move it over. Okay. Let's see. And this can always go back and be edited. These numbers are not correct, right? So we're looking for various data points. So I'm going to delete all that out. And in particularly, since we're identifying particular components in the classroom, we'll label this according to those various components from the form stock, okay? So let's see. All right, so click out. And we have it here. Okay, so we see that this backdrop here from the PowerPoint graphic is not sufficient. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to move it, copy and paste. That's like Control C. And then I'm going to Control V here. Good. So we can have something visual. So this may be for something else. Okay, that's just cosmetically. So let's go here. And this is going to be for the instructional board. So I'm going to put instructional board here. Remind you, this is just cosmetic stuff. You can always navigate and move that around somewhere else. Maybe you say, well, I don't really want it there. I want it in the title. We can do that. And it does hyperlink for you to change the title. So we're going to say instructional board. Let's see. Yeah. And of course, it's that backdrop. So I'm going to delete that out. This is not the DARE data. This is the focus waltz data. So I'm going to go and grab that, Control C, and delete this out, Control V, okay? All right, guys. And so we still got that column thing showing up here. So we can fix that in just a moment. So now we have the information here just for instructional boards, right? And you know that's not the only thing we're looking for. So you can always go into the PowerPoint. Once you see it got that circle that highlighted around the PowerPoint, we hit Control C and hit Control V to give us another one. Of course, that one is dark, so we're going to delete that. And we're just going to go and add a new slide. So those slides are dark. But nonetheless, just give you an example because we don't have to necessarily use these slides here, but we can use the blank slide. So what I'm going to do, let me show you this. I'm going to do a blank slide. I'm going to go back and capture that data again by highlighting it here. Control C, because we don't need the backdrop to be dark, right? And so I'm going to put it here. Good. Clean and polished, right? And we just expand it out. This is our first one, which is the instructional board. These are going to be copied and pasted into our bit.ly, okay? And this, we're going to say instructional board. We can make it more explicit for anyone who's looking at it. Instructional board, grades 3 through 5, grades 3rd through 5th, all good, elementary school. And usually I just give credit to the immediate leads in the building, which is Dr. William Carter, principal, and or I don't necessarily say and, but I say Dr. Lisa Still Reimer, assistant principal. That way, if somebody looks at this right off the bat, they know immediately who it belongs to. Okay, so now we can go in and input that data, right? And so I know you still see that column 1 there. So let's do some changes with the data. You see where it says edit data? You got to make sure it's hyperlinked here, where it's actually showing where you can manipulate the document. Go to edit data. We can edit that in the small Excel file box or either in the Excel. Small edit data box or the Excel. So it doesn't matter. Either one will work, whichever one is convenient for you. I do it sometimes I need to capture something real quick. I just go here. But if you want to pull up the big Excel, as you can see, it's a mini Excel, you can do that as well, okay? All right. So I don't need that. So I need to cut because that column 1 keeps showing. Come on. There we go. As you can tell, it's a lot of playing around, right? Mm-mm. Okay, I don't want to waste too much time on that. So what I'm gonna do, I'm going to let me see. I may have to come back to that. I have a little hiccup there. There we go. See, all we do is play around, right? So it's just delete. So you hyperlink, right click, and delete. And so that column one came out, right? And so instructional board, and I'm just going to do this for an example for you to see, and then we'll go back and Miss Crockett and myself, Miss Kasura, make sure the data is accurate after our second focus walk, which will be Monday, okay? So just for right now, until I pull that information from earlier part of February, we can simply say yes. That can be a categorization because we're looking for instructional board being there, and based upon the form stock, we was either indicating yes or no. And we're just going to assume that you are prepared for Monday, right? So I'm going to come out because we want to see what that looks like. Just a lot of plug and play. And sometimes it's plug and play trying to figure out which graph to use. So let me go back into editing again. Pull that back up. Yeah. Since we're using numerical, we can go based upon percent. And say, oh, there we go. That's what we're looking for, right? So, but that's based upon how you plan on using the verbiage. So, what you may find is that the column chart may not have been the best chart to use. And Ms. Crockett and myself, we can decide that Monday, which we need, we need to make immediate decision. And Ms. Kasora, but because we're trying to either show yes or no. So, I'm just showing you how to unplug, right? And so, if that's yes and yes, we come out. And let me go back into here one more time. Edit data. There we go. You see how it shows the comparative, so versus yes and no. Now, let me show you something else just in case we realize, well, you know what? That doesn't really, because we're just looking for, is it visible or not, right? So you go back to, we're inserting something different. So you go to insert, right, again, and we're going to go to a different chart. Maybe the column chart wasn't the best because we're not showing percentages. Or maybe it is. I think it's a matter of opinion and perspective. But maybe we want to show pi, okay? And maybe we want to show in specifications certain grade levels. So I'm just going to show you that. So let's do pi. So inserting pi chart. Awesome. And maybe we want it to show collectively what grade level or either um, per per grade level in particular, or either maybe we compare one grade level to another or one content area to another. But nevertheless, this is how you input that data. Because of, however, if you're thinking about what type of chart to use, you always want to think about how you formulate the questions. And so, like for our focus walks, we're basically showing, is it evident or not? Are they doing it or not? Is it present or not? Is it available or not? Did we see it or not? So it just depends on what kind of qualitative information you're looking for to determine the quantitative data that you want to use, okay? You can always go to change chart type, even in the midst of you creating it. And you can filter around, maybe you want to do line. I do like using line quite a bit. We use line on the last go round for the focus walks. So maybe that would have been one, and it could have been per each one. Might you just go in again, change the title. Maybe it, didn't mean to delete the whole thing. Let me see, go back. Okay, there we go. And let's say we're going to do instructional board here again. Instructional boards. And you don't even have to worry about trying to retype each time. You can just go in, copy and paste, change what you need to change. It's one of those quick tools. Go in, copy and paste. Bam. Good to go. Spread it out a little bit. And maybe what I'm showing here, just maybe by grade level. So maybe I said, well, that may be too much to put on one. Or I could put it collectively. Maybe we're going to analyze the data and say collectively. So anyway, I'm going to edit the data points. And I'm just going to show cohesively, collectively. I'm going to show third grade, fourth grade, fifth grade. Okay? Whatever you don't need, just take it out. They just give you that for example. And maybe after we have analyzed our data, and this is going to be from 2022 or March 2022. And then, of course, we can manipulate these lines a little bit. And maybe third grade in February, once we analyze the data, had 100% instructional boards. Fourth grade, let's say 3 out of their teachers did, so 75%. And fifth grade, we said 75. Okay, 5%. All right. But we put the pressure on, and we sent out the email. They know we're coming out Monday, and they know it's stop, and everybody's in point, right? So we say 100 here, 100 here, 100 here. Look at those data points. That looks good, doesn't it? Very good for presentational purposes, right? So just trial and error. So the last thing I wanted to show you was that you can add data labels. Look at that. I think that question was asked. So I can add some data labels here. Look at that. And then it shows those numbers. Right click again. I can add some data. You just right click it. I'm sorry. Add data labels there. So there's no ambiguity in what those numbers represent, especially as it gets kind of crowded. Like let's say we had specifications for all teachers. And you're like, but where was he again? And where was she again? Then we can see those data point numbers. Same thing goes here. Maybe I'm not quite sure if that's on 100 or not. I can right click on it, add a data label here. I can right click on this, add a data label here. Okay. All right. So we're going to have some fun with this trial and error as we get ready to plug in the bit.ly. And I'll do a different video to show you how to plug those new creations into the bit.ly. I'm not saying I do it the best way. You may find that your way is better, and by all means share with me. I generally create them in a different PowerPoint, and then once I finish creating the graphs, I move them over into the bit.ly. Okay. Thank you guys. I look forward to working with you, Ms. Crockett, as well as Ms. Kasura. Thank you.